So, Tyler, officially, completely 100%, tell us who you're voting for.
I cannot do that, Arda. As Riot Games, as I've been doing this for the last 5 years, 6 years, I think. I did it for the CoreJJ Esports back in like 2015 too. I've done LCS voting for a very long time. They've told me time and time again never to reveal who I'm picking on an official show or source. So I leave it to chat. I leave it to Emily. I leave it to Jacob. I leave it to you, Arda. Please sway me. I am open. LCS is not good enough where there's one key player that's just prevailing through everyone else. I'm open to all options. I have not selected who I want to be my MVP or ESPN's MVP just yet. Please sway me. I am very open to suggestions. Just make sure. I mean, John Sun might be a good choice. Try to sway me. I mean, I'm a John Sun fan. He did have a great season, Arda. I might have been one season too early, but no. But for real though.
Here, let's start. You know what Chad has already said here? Naja fan, he's voting for Faker. Already in the chat, immediately.
I would probably get my voting privileges revoked. That would not be fun. But I do think there's a lot of options here. Obviously, Cloud9, Team Liquid, TSM, EG, FlyQuest is kind of a bunch up in front. I think coming in the split, we were thinking it had to be a Cloud9 member just because how dominant they were, how dominant they looked at the start of the season. But I think with them falling back, it can't be a C9 member, especially since, I don't think you can pick one clear member of that team right now that's performing above all others, even if you thought they were, worthy of the award. So please give me your best shot. Tell me who should be the LCS MVP for 2020 summer season.
Emily, start us off.
So my pick is actually a Team Liquid member, and it's CoreJJ. I think that I think that Tactical has performed really well, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him whatsoever. But I also think that part of it has been the fact that he has had a veteran support who is incredibly intelligent, incredibly mechanically talented, and a huge part of Team Liquid's overall voice and shot calling. And having someone like that in your lane, regardless of if he's going if he's in the 2v2 or if he's going to roam up to mid, I think Core is such an essential part of this team. When I picked Caps for LEC, I mentioned how he's been kind of the backbone of the team, right? I think a lot of things, a lot of reasons why people don't necessarily believe in TL has been some of their wins have come off some, some shaky performances, last minute, individual outplays, that kind of thing. And not only is Core stable, raising a young AD carry, but he's also been a part of some of those highlight plays. I think most specifically, people would point to the blitz hook in the river. I forget who it was against. It was just a few weeks ago. I want to say Immortals, but that might be wrong. Anyway, I think there's a huge case for Core, not only due to how much he means for the team and how much stability he provides, and how he has helped raise Tactical, who's turning out to be a really strong AD carry. But he also has the individual highlights. He has the hands. And, to have a player that has both has meant so much to TL over the season, and has, I think, in some cases, you could make the case that they would not have won if it hadn't been for a very specific play that he executed. So that's why I'm giving it to Core.
I do like Mr. CoreJJ. I do like him. I do quite like that.
Core videos are great. I recommend them.
Great YouTuber. What beat IG? That was really cool. I was there live for that. That was a fun experience. I don't remember the final.
I'm sure that IG
tournament.
win is going to be factoring into your summer split
I'm just
MVP
saying,
consideration.
Arda, I have fond memories of Mr. CoreJJ. Jacob, give me your best option here.
CoreJJ would be my pick also, but if I had to make the case for someone else who was not him, it would have to be Bjergsen. I actually think that Bjergsen has had a really good, particularly second half of this split, in particular. I had my questions about TSM, particularly after the spring, letting us all down a little bit. But for me, I've been really happy with his performance. He definitely, their playstyle is very much oriented to same old TSM, literally team solo mid, play around Bjergsen, give him all the gold and let him pop off on people. That's the TSM of old and currently the TSM of current. So yeah, and he's at the heart of that, right? He's been consistently one of the best mid laners for a long time. I think that he has had a solid summer split. So like I said, would not be my vote. I would vote Core because I think Core has had a fantastic summer and has really been the difference maker for Liquid. But I think that Bjergsen deserves a nod at least as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some votes.
Again, I like Mr. Bjergsen. I like his beard, and well, no more beard, but he had a good beard. But he's won 4 times, just like CoreJJ. These are old hats. This is not the sexy narrative that the writer wants to write about, right? Like, oh, Bjergsen won his 5th MVP, Core won his Arda, you got me. You're a narrative guy like me. You like the big stories. You like the pro wrestling storylines. Give me someone who hasn't won MVP before. Give me someone I could think about maybe giving their first award to in that kind of story.
Well, I'm going to go back to something that was said earlier by a very wise man who said, "Can you help my Turkish brother out?"
I knew this was coming.
And while many people might not select him to be the LCS MVP for Summer Split, if you're looking for a good narrative, ladies and gentlemen, and if you're looking for somebody who hasn't won LCS MVP before, look no further than my boy on Golden Guardians, Mr. John Chelik, closer himself. Now, why would I pick someone like that when I also have Niski available? Why would I do that? The reason is because Closer is definitely an unleashed player in this split. The Closer of Spring Split is so different. A full 180 was had when changes were made on this roster to free Closer, Tyler. He has been unshackled. He is more aggressive. He is synergizing with his teammates. He looks like a jungler possessed on the LCS Rift and helping Golden Guardians cement themselves in a playoff position. So what I would say is we don't have to look at the statistics, Tyler, okay? Numbers are for nerds. We don't need to worry about anything as it pertains to KDA. We don't got to worry about goal differential. None of that matters. What matters is who is important to their team. Who would look at someone and say, this person right here is a massive reason why this team made it to the postseason. And if you're looking at Golden Guardians, which you really should be, Tyler, you have to at least consider the Turkish brethren of Closer.
That's a good argument, Arda. I think Closer has been unlocked with Demonte. Demonte has kind of played that style that is unlocking. He's kind of playing support of the jungler. My only contradiction to that would be that I do think that it's a tandem of Closer and FBI. I think FBI is sneakily a top 3 or maybe even the best AD carry currently in North America. Ooh. He's done so much for Golden Guardians where I think FBI and Closer are kind of very under the radar candidates for all pro or, a third place MVP. I think those 2 players especially have kind of raised the bar when it comes to Golden Guardians. And I think Closer gets a lot of credit and deservedly so. He is a very exciting player. He's been this, hard carry jungler since back in Turkey, where, he was scouted last year at the World Championships, where he was wrecking people in the qualifying rounds. But FBI, he's quiet, doesn't make a lot of noise. But when he comes and knocking and busts through that door, just like the FBI of, United States of America, he makes a difference. He makes an impact. And he has played really incredible this split. So Closer definitely should be considered on, maybe a short list of 10 players or so. But I think FBI kind of he minimizes Closer's chance of being MVP.
Corollary to my verbal essay here. How about you go against the grain, take the road less traveled here, Tyler. Idea for you. For the first time ever, you do a dual MVP candidate bid of FBI and Closer. Submit it. Chris Greeley looks at it and says, "You know what, Erzberger? I like the cut of your jib."
Yeah.
And then we have a co-MVP situation.
There would be a cutting of sorts, but it would be my cutting of my privileges of voting ever again in the LCS.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they would just be like, yeah, you're trolling.
They would be like, we don't need ESPN that much.
Greeley would love it. Greeley would love it.
But I think it's tough. I think it is a very open race, very similar to Europe, where there's a lot of very good players, a lot of very good seasons. I don't think Like, I think if you look at the LCK right now, you look at Showmaker, what Showmaker's doing in the LCK, and you're like, he is playing out of his damn mind. He is playing some of the best League of Legends we've ever seen in the mid lane. He is having an incredible season. I mean, he is a monster. And I don't think anyone in the West, in either LEC or LCS, has had a season where they've just been so far ahead of everyone else. Where in LCK, Showmaker for me is an easy pick. I think for LCS and LEC, there's a lot of very good resumes. I don't think there's one right now that just stands above everyone else. So it's going to be a very tough decision when I make these choices later tonight.